everybody, and welcome to this post-game edition of Dodgers Territory. In case you forgot, I am Alanna Rizzo. I know I missed a couple of shows, my bad, but Clint Pasillas has been holding down the fort. However, he is gone on Thursday, so here you have it. There you have it. Yeah, so we're doing it right now. All right, thank you. Good to be back. Thought of you guys, of course. I did a little bit of the derby, if you will, but glad to be back with the boys in blue. And
hold on, and you got a new job. Congrats.
Oh, I mean, that's just a couple things. Let's, you know what? Let's actually throw this out there right now because people are like, "What's going on?" No. I'm just a complimentary role to their broadcast team on NESN. I live in Massachusetts. It's right down the road. I'm doing about 20 dates. It does not take away from Dodgers territory at all. Yeah. You know, I love my boys in blue. You know, I love the show, and I'm committed to Dodgers territory until I die.
And we love a Dodger win. We love a series win. We love being done. Actually, I don't love being done with the Marlins because it's fun watching the Dodgers beat the Marlins. But, hey, we got a pouncing 10-1 final. Dodgers down the fish. The offense asleep early, and oh boy, did it wake up after the fact. What stood out to you in this one?
What I liked about it, and we're going to get to all the different injuries when our segment Blue Balls comes up in just a little bit. But I like the fact that I love that home run from James Outman. I mean, this is a guy, obviously, that I remember when he first came up through the ranks at spring training. I was screaming off the rooftops like James Outman must make the opening day roster, this, that, and the other thing. Yeah. And obviously, he had some struggles offensively. This is a tough game to play at the big league level, but I love the fact that he had a good game today. Another thing I love is as you pointed out on X yesterday, Freddie Freeman is more reliable than anybody that you know. I love Freddie Freeman. Oh, there it is. Wow. Look at that. Man. How about that?
Synergy.
You know, Mookie Betts getting the walk today. I know that he's not been swinging the bat all that great, but he got the walk today. And Andy Pajas continues to impress me. But I guess overall, overarching, Landon Knack did exactly what he needed to do today. So he impressed me. And again, we were talking about how some of those AAA guys, we weren't sure if they were ready for the big moment. We knew that they were going to be called upon because of injury. But Knack looked good today. What was your biggest takeaway?
Yeah, I think really it's a twofer. I mean, you got to love the offense. By the way, Freddie Freeman just on an absolute tear, finishes the day 3 for 4, 12-game hitting streak, hitting .478 over that stretch with 18 runs batted in.
Was that good?
That, according to sources, that is pretty dang good baseball. But we got to talk about Landon Knack because entering play today, this team needed innings. He was able to give them 5, went 5+. But it's a twofer for me because I got Landon Knack out there, and he's been very good outside of that Washington game that you and I watched with Scotty Braun on playback a couple weeks ago. Gave up 5 runs in that first inning. Since then, he has been actually all around it. He's been very, very good. And you add in Matt Sauer giving this team 4 innings today. Could not come at a better time considering all of the injuries, all the woes, all the maladies this team is going through right now, particularly on the pitching front. But also, hey, they did this without Teoscar Hernandez today. Everybody getting in on the action. And, of course, Ha-Seong Kim getting in on the action as well. Second career run batted in. Another multi-hit effort. Hitting over 400. OPSing over 800. Now, the league might catch up to him at some point, but right now he's doing well, and he's been a little bit of a difference maker, for the bottom of the lineup, and it feels like for Shohei as well.
It's so funny that you say that. I mean, he's only been up at the big league level for 2 minutes, so yeah. I mean, they're probably going to get caught up to him, but that's okay. Let's enjoy this while we can. It's funny going back to Freddie Freeman for just a second, Clint. When I was watching the game over here on the couch. Eric Karros, who's in the booth, obviously, with Steven Nelson on this broadcast, was talking about, Freddie Freeman has like such a weird stance in a sense that the way that he lines up in the box, as you are demonstrating right now, he should not be able to hit as well as he does. And Eric was like, what is that type of situation? And Chris, my husband, was, talking, we were talking about it, and he's like, he's just a pure hitter. And there's some folks in the chat that are saying the same thing as far as Freddie Freeman. Matthew Thomas in the chat. Welcome, everybody. Freddie Freeman is the best pure hitter in baseball. How the Braves let him walk, I will never understand. Well, that's a whole other Dodgers territory. Or perhaps a hammer in territory. Yeah. But, I mean, he's just a ball player, right? He's just a hitter. The way that he works the count, the way that he puts together at-bats, the way that he uses the entire field, the way that he understands the situation. He's not always trying to swing for the fences. He's fine with moving a guy over. I mean, you saw that RBI single there that he had. Freddie's just a baller. He's just a ball
Yeah.
player. And he's phenomenally gifted, and it's good that he's on our team.
Yeah. Baller, shot caller. There is nobody I would rather have like guarding my life than Fredward Freeman. I'm assuming his middle name is Evan. Dude is just good, and he comes up clutch. He he's one of those guys. We know the cliches. Dodgers love to say, "Stay within yourself. Try not to do too much." He's one of those guys. He doesn't try to do too much in any moment, unless it's Nestor Cortez grooving a first pitch fastball in World Series Game 1. But he stays.
Has he resumed, by the way? And has anyone seen Nestor Cortez in Milwaukee? Is he off the IL? Do we know? Is he alive? What are we doing?
We have a segment that's called "Not My Problem," but that's not coming up today. Again, all in all, just getting back to the root of this, a great team win for the Dodgers here. And most importantly, 2 guys covered 9 innings. Could not have come at a better time. By the way, Matt Sauer, this was his 3rd big league appearance for the Dodgers this year. He's covered 10 innings in relief, 5 innings in his last outing, and 4 in this one. That is impressive stuff, and that's the type of stuff, Alanna, you know how important that is to guys just in the clubhouse. That's how Brent Honeywell became a legend for the Dodgers, by being that dude who's ready to eat some innings and save the bullpen. That is an absolute bullpen savior, and thank you for stopping by. He'll probably get optioned right back to AAA.
I know, right?
Tomorrow.
What have you done for me lately? Like take the elevator back down. But you know what? It's always going to be more than the 26. It's probably more than the 40 over the course of the year. And you know what? When they get another ring in 2025, Sauer's going to get one.
Yep.
That's just the way that it is. Everybody that it's going to take a lot more than what we see on an everyday basis to make this happen. But I do like the fact that, again, if you get the rare opportunity and you're always kind of looking over your right shoulder to see who's coming up behind you, you got to make the most of it. James Outman did that today. Kim so far has made the most of it. As you mentioned, Matt Sauer has made the most of it. Landon Knack today made the most of it. So that's exactly what you wanted to see. You put the fish in their place. Those are teams that you're supposed to beat, right? I mean, these are teams that you're supposed to beat. And there's no disrespect to the opponent. You respect them, but it doesn't mean that you give them any credit type of situation, right? And the Dodgers did exactly what they needed to do. And I'm loving it. I'm loving it for this club.
What's funny, or not funny, as I take this opportunity to segue for us, all of those names you mentioned, they're kind of up here because of injuries. And that is part of the bigger story. People kind of losing their minds on the internet right now over all of the injuries that have befallen this team. Once again, you feel like it's 2024 all over again. So before we get to blue balls, before we talk about all of that, we're going to hear from Eric Kratz and Scott Braun. Quick word from the guys about car gurus.
It is complicated enough to figure out what type of car you want, but when it comes to pricing and best time to buy and all of that information that you're looking for, Car Gurus is the only destination that you should be thinking about, Kratz. Why?
Because I don't have to question what the price is. It's going to be there. If the price changes and comes down to where I want it to be, bang, I get a notification. Car Gurus is giving it to me straight, and this is how I want to purchase a car. Not fast. I just want to know what's going on.
With over 4 million listings, Car Gurus has more car listings than any other major online automotive marketplace in the U.S. So you can find the best deal, and it's no wonder SimilarWeb estimated traffic data shows Car Gurus is the #1 most visited car shopping site. So you can buy or sell your next car today with Car Gurus at cargurus.com. Go to cargurus.com to make sure your big deal is the best deal. That's cargurus.com, cargurus.com.
Our balls are blue.
I feel like that music though is like really positive and really happy. Blue balls not happy, not positive. So perhaps we switch up. Perhaps we switch up the music. I think out of all of the things, obviously hamstring issues concern me just because of the length of time a guy can be out, and Teoscar's huge for this club. What really bothers me though is Evan Phillips going back on the IL, if you will, with right forearm discomfort. I never like to hear that. Fabian Ardaya, who does a great job for The Athletic, with this on X. He's pitched in 7 of the Dodgers' 14 games since he was activated off the IL on April 19th. That was that partially torn rotator cuff. Remember that? That's why he started the season delayed. But now he's going back on the shelf with right forearm discomfort. And that's why Matt Sauer was here. And that's why Matt Sauer did a great job, thankfully. But that concerns me with Evan Phillips, a big piece of this Dodgers bullpen.
Yeah, it's a telling sign of the bullpen is taxed, and it comes down to starting pitching. Pitching is a problem for this team, much like it was last year, especially entering the postseason. And now you're just missing a bunch of pieces right now. Bullpen is overworked. Dave Roberts, of course, addressed that last night. This is from last night, but it's absolutely not a sustainable business model, as our friend Bill Plunkett wrote in his copy on the Twitter, on the X, if you're nasty there. It comes down to the starting pitching. Pitchers are not there. The state of the rotation. We'll throw to this once again. Throwing Landon Knack in there, you still only have 5 healthy starting pitchers. You have a bunch of arms on the injured list. Clayton Kershaw should be eligible, or is eligible, to return next Sunday, and likely will be activated for that. But when you're missing a guy like Blake Snell, who, Alanna, we talked a bunch about after they signed him, and up through spring training, he was supposed to be the workhorse for this team.
Right.
You drop Blake Snell, also losing Tyler Glasnow. You can't not have both of those guys, and now all of a sudden, you're still without Gavin Stone. You're not going to have him for the season. You're not going to have River Ryan for the season. Emmett Sheehan will be back at some point, but he's still a ways away, and you don't know what you're going to get out of him coming off of injury. So now you have the situation where Yamamoto and Sasaki now are getting off of there once a week, and they're moving a day up in their rotation, and maybe that throws everything off. But it's just overall the injuries are a problem for this pitching staff.
What is problematic, Clint, is the fact that in April we could have sustained it. We could have gone, the 6-man rotation, or even the 5-man, obviously, because we had all of the different days off, and the calendar was in favor of what the Dodgers needed in terms of arms and health. But as the calendar has changed to May, and now that we are 7 days into May, we don't have those types of off days that you can work your way in to kind of maneuver and massage the starting rotation to make it work for you. And now that you have Blake Snell on the shelf, and now that you have, all these different arms on the shelf, you're like, okay, now I don't have the arms that I need with Blake Snell and Tyler Glasnow on the shelf, but now I also have all these games in a row where you can't continue to have bullpen games, because then you're going to wear them the heck out. And then again, you're relying on these guys, the Landon Knacks of the world, the Justin Robleskis of the world, to step up. I know it's a tired cliche that we use, next man in, but at least Landon Knack did it today, and that's what he's going to have to continue to do. And it's like, you got to grow up in a hurry, and you got to get to the big league level in a hurry. What impressed me the most, I think, about Landon Knack today, Clint, we know that his game is one of pitching to contact. He's not a guy that walks a lot of guys. And I don't believe he had a base on balls today until the 5th inning. And that's exactly, and again, I don't have a statistician to check my facts on that, but whatever it was, late in his outing, he did really, really good. That's the first, the first base on balls that he had. I have this piece of hair right here that's driving me absolutely bananas.
I was looking at it and it was bothering me.
I know. Did it bother you? I know. It's totally.
I'm just here for a good time.
This is the thing. It's like Stone, shoulder, and Ryan elbow out for 99.9% of the season. You said that.
They're
Snell,
99%
shoulder, Glasnow, shoulder, everything to play, catch on Friday. That's good. Kershaw, knee foot, our savior, will make one more appearance at AAA this Sunday. Yeah, you think?
What's funny is, Riz, this was the guy we asked a number of people about. Where are the Dodgers going to fit Clayton Kershaw into this mix? They fucking need him right now.
I know,
they need him bad.
But see, that's the thing. We're like, oh my gosh, we have so many arms. What are we going to do? He's a first ballot Hall of Famer, but oh my goodness, he'd be, he's like 4 or 5 on everybody else's staff. Well, you know what? Here comes the stopper.
Yeah,
man. That's just the way that it is. It's like exactly how we drew it up, right? We knew that we'd be sitting here on May 7th, like, can't wait till he gets back.
Baseball is a horrible bitch goddess. And what's funny, I understand people in the chat pointing out, the Dodgers are still on pace to win 110 games. They're still in first place in the National League West. Yeah, we get that. We understand that they are good. But the way, just like Dave said, the way they are playing or the way they are getting to these victories, it's extremely taxing. And you can't sustain that kind of, it's a marathon, or it's a sprint or a marathon or whatever. This is a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's not a full-blown, run. You should be jogging through. The Dodgers are built to jog, or at least were built to jog through 162 games. But with all of the injuries, that's not the case. You got some guys that need to run, that need to do a full-blown sprint, and it's going to what we have here with Evan Phillips down, Blake Trinan already down, and
Blake Trinan down,
he is shut down for probably until the second half. And then again, the same we already talked about Snell, Glasnow, them being MIA for this starting rotation, and then it becomes who's next, who else is going to go down, and that's a concern. When you're not just talking about today. We're not just thinking about today. We're not thinking about tomorrow. And the Dodgers, you win that day's game, but they're also phenomenal at thinking next week, next month, 3 months from now. And 3 months from now, at this rate, you're not going to have a good time. They are straight up not having a good time. Beyond that, beyond the pitching side, you mentioned heading into the segment as well, losing Teoscar Hernandez. That is a massive blow. And I think for you and I, especially you, not having Teo in the lineup, that is a big blow. Luckily, somewhat better news. Dave a little more optimistic today, as Jack Harris pointed out. Maybe back in as little as 2 weeks, but I worry about pushing that a little too quick when it comes to that hip groin area and kind of soft tissue.
I've said this 1,000 times. I'll say it 1,000 more. Anything that is groin related, oblique related, or hamstring related, it makes me incredibly nervous, because the only way to figure out how do you feel with it is to test it. And you can't go full strength. And then what do you do if you re-aggravate it again? Yep. So the only thing that works is rest, right? The only thing that works for that is rest. So you're not going to rush him back, but man, that is a massive blow. Not only what he does in terms of in the box, but what he does obviously in terms of the lineup construction. I mean, Teoscar Hernandez out of the middle of the order, that moves everybody else out of position. And, when you don't have a lot of production as it is from the bottom part of the order, then you're asking a lot. You want your guys at the top of the order, 1, 2, 3, to make sure that they're constantly grinding in the at-bats, right? You're forcing the opposition to throw a ton of pitches. That way, the middle part of the order, the bottom part of the order can kind of see every single thing that the opposing pitcher has in their repertoire. And I feel like that's what the top of the order is going to need to do, even more so with Teoscar Hernandez out. Show him everything you got in the first couple of batters, so the bottom part of the order knows what's coming.
It's funny that this segment is the Blue Ball segment. We're talking about Teo's groin and all this. It's a whole thing. I started giggling while you were talking there. Good news also, Tommy Edman. We were expecting to get Tommy Tanks back for this Arizona series. They're pushing him out a little bit longer, but he should be back in the lineup come the Dodgers returning to LA to welcome the Athletics. But there was a comment that popped up a couple seconds ago.
I wonder if it's going to, okay, you talk about Cole, and then I want to talk about what NS has to say. Let's talk about this with Cole. Go ahead.
Okay, here's Cole. So, being worried now, great point. Like, this is kind of the weak part of the schedule the Dodgers are in you can kind of weather the storm a little bit. And that is one of the things I want to talk about before we eventually get out of here or move on and talk about a pepperoni that is in need of help. But how is this team going to get through the next few weeks? Because eventually the schedule in June becomes a little bit more of a gauntlet. And hey, they finally face more National League West teams. You ever seen the San Francisco Giants? They used to play each other all the time, along with the San Diego Padres. Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah.
I miss them. I miss seeing the actual division rivals play each other. And I understand people are going to have a field day with me calling the Padres rivals, but they are. But
they are recently, for sure. They are absolutely. I like the fact that we're finally going to see some divisional votes and kind of really see where we stack up. Because again, the whole point is to win the division. That's that is the checklist number one, right? And then obviously get deep into the postseason, win the division. When you get the bye, blah blah blah, then you move on. I mean, right now the Los Angeles Dodgers obviously have a 1-game advantage against the San Diego Padres and just a 1.5-game lead over the Gigantes. So it's a close division. I like that though. We've talked a lot about how the NL West is the best division in baseball right now, and I believe that to be true. I mean, there's some teams in the AL West that are good. Obviously, the Mariners. I'm very surprised about the Athletics. Don't sleep on the Athletics right now, kids, because I know we're all excited that we just took 2 of 3 or whatever it was from the Marlins, but we should beat them, right? The Athletics are only 3 games out of first in the AL West. I understand it's not that tough of a division. We expected the Mariners to be first, but don't sleep on the Athletics. They're a young, gritty team, and you better hope you don't have to face Mason Miller at the back end of that bullpen. Let's make sure it's not a save situation so Mason Miller doesn't have to come in. I did want to go back to the chat really quick. Again, you guys, thanks so much for being with us with Clint and I on Dodger Territory. We appreciate you guys so much. Make sure you like, subscribe, all of the things as we continue to try to build our platform here. But NS had a good point. Let me see if I can find it now because the chat is so active that it's been moved up here. But he was saying, dang it, Alanna, where is this? NS.
It happens.
It was, no, darn it. Hang on.
See. I'm looking.
Oh, he was saying, like he was talking. I found it. He was talking about Andy Pages, and you know what? Again, and I said this on X. I said the praise better be as loud as the disrespect was, because, and myself included, I was like, this guy's not a center fielder. Yeah. What are we doing? But with Teoscar Hernandez out, maybe this is an opportunity for Andy Pages to continue to show that he had another hit today, but also he has a freaking cannon,
dude. Yeah,
I mean, right field. Like I've seen it, kind of harkened back to the days of Yasiel Puig. Remember, I can't remember what year it was, but let's assume it was 2014 because that was Yasiel's like full first year when he had. I think it was in Miami too. Maybe it was at
Wasn't
home.
It
anyway,
Colorado?
It doesn't matter.
The Colorado one.
Yeah, maybe
right?
it was Colorado. When Yasiel threw in that had that right field assist and it hit Justin Turner's glove at third base. And like Justin was like on his ass and he caught it. And it was like, I mean, that was that kind of, not to compare Pages to Puig, but he does have a really good outfield arm. So, I mean, again, he's starting to develop a little bit. And I like to see that evolution of Andy Pages because we're like, what are we doing? Why isn't Outman up here? What, It's so funny how we're like, we try to make all these decisions, and my team would be 162.
Listen, we're all here to react in the moment and all this kind of stuff for each game and each play and all of this. And the reality is Pages is not a true center fielder. We know that. He's got himself a lot better. Him working with Dino Ebel in the outfield. He's put a lot of grind in the outfield. We saw them working also on some of even the simple things like picking a ball and a crow hop in the outfield at spring training. Like he wants to be good at it. Pages needs to be good at center field, but right now with Teo down, he has some opportunity in right field where he is an above average defender. You saw it yesterday with another homer robbery, and then he hoses a dude at first, throwing 98.5 miles an hour, almost flat footed. He's got the tools to get it done, and now the bat is catching up to be more of a corner outfield type of piece. A problem is Teoscar Hernandez wants to play right field, and he told Mookie Betts on Mookie's podcast, which, by the way, when are we getting on Mookie's podcast? What's going on here, Marcus? He told.
I guess we don't rate that highly for Marcus Lynn Betts.
I mean, I agree. I agree with that. I don't rate that highly. Regardless of that and the self-deprecation here, Mookie had mentioned a big reason that he moved to short, that he wanted to move to short, was to open right field for Teo to return. He did his part to make sure our boy Teoscar returned, and to all of a sudden move him back to left field, where let's be realistic here. Teoscar Hernandez is a World Series champion as a left fielder, but if he wants to play right field, you got a lot of the same parts and not enough of too many square pegs for a round hole, I guess. Yeah.
You know what I think is such a good point that you just brought up, and I don't think we talk about this enough. A lot of people continue to question why the Dodgers have Mookie Betts at the shortstop position. Why did they do that? He's a Gold Glove right fielder. He's a 3-time World Series champion. Blah 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 blah. If Mookie isn't as selfless as he was, the Dodgers would not have been able to bring back Teoscar Hernandez.
Yep.
If Mookie said, you know what, I'm a 3-time World Series champion. I'm Marcus Lynn Betts. I want to play in right field. That's my position. That's what I'm going to do. But people don't realize that he literally is so selfless and is such a team player that he's willing to put in the work. Everyone's like, oh, now his offense is struggling because he's putting in too much work, trying to make sure he's a good, fielding shortstop. What the heck do you want? It's like the offense is going to be there, right? That's going to catch up. but everybody wants him to work out, be a better shortstop. Well, my God. I mean, he's doing all of those things. And if Mookie doesn't move to the infield, we don't get Teoscar, who to me was the biggest off-season signing. Bringing back the Hernandez brothers to me is bigger than the Roki. I mean, as far as the short term is concerned, right?
Yeah.
Is bigger than the Roki, is bigger than the Sasaki signing in the short term, in the right now in 2025. So think about that for a second. It's not always so clear cut. I mean, there's a bigger picture that we need to talk about with where these guys are playing on the daily basis.
I fully agree. And, beyond Mookie playing shortstop and, oh my God, that is what's totally destroying his offensive game. No, let's not forget, and it's something that was brought up again recently. Let's not forget, this is a dude who was sick, a month and a half ago. Lost 17 pounds and then quickly regained it. And he said that got him into some bad swing habits. He is somebody that needs to square up a baseball for it to go out. So as soon as he starts to kind of feel his swing, getting back under him again and using the whole field, then he could start to turn on him, power him out of, out of the left center gap or whatever, that Mookie Betts power zone or whatever. But he's doing fine. He's earning his walks, and he's actually, it's something I do want to eventually bring up. He's been pretty good at short. He has been. He's been really good. We may not have time to go into it today, but I mean, he had the walk today. He had an RBI. By the way, I shorted Pasillas on a hit. Andy Pasillas was 2 for 5, and he had a really good day defensively. 2 for 5. He's hitting 279 on the year, an 827 OPS. He did have the one strikeout today, but you know what? You got Andy Pasillas, who I wanted to send to the moon. He was batting 4th today. You know what I mean? So and
it's
he did good.
And he did fine. I'm not saying he's the guy I want in the cleanup spot every single day, but you know what? Again, you make the most of the opportunities. And yes, I saw this too. Those of us who follow the minor leagues, which I know a lot of you guys do, I could get better at that. Knew who Pasillas was, and he didn't give up on him, and good for you.
Yeah, shout out to Mike for being here with us in the chat. Also our friends Elisheva, EB, Diane, NS, everybody in the chat. Cole, appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Look at how much Dodger baseball we can talk when you're not around for a little while. We just have all of this energy. We're excited.
I'm sorry, man. I went to the Derby. I lost every single damn race. I did, however, meet Joe Torre's former horse that he used to. It's called Game On Dude. I met him. I had a good time. I went to Louisville Slugger, so that was an opportunity. I got to see Will Smith's bat.
Your hat was nice.
Thank you. Oh, it's called a fascinator. It's called get the lingo right. Get the verbiage right. It's a fascinator. A hat is like all on your head. A fascinator is just on the side.
All right. Let's get to last licks.
I have to tell you guys, even though I was off, rescue never stops. This is Cowboy. He is one of many, many Doberman mixed puppies that were dumped in the desert in the blistering heat, left to die. He's a 6-month-old Dobie mix. He's so sweet. Great with other dogs, great with kids. Just a sweet. Dobies are very, very sweet dogs. He is ready to be adopted into a forever home. Please consider adopting Dobie, at least sharing him. And if you can't adopt or foster at the moment, or you can't at least share, we always accept donations. We are a 100% donation-based organization, Gidry'sGuardian.org. Hit me up if you're interested in learning more about Dobie.
Is that auction over, by the way?
It is not over. We have one more week to bid. Thank you for mentioning that. It is the Dodgers hosting the Angels on May 17th. It's 2 tickets to the game. And every single cent goes to dogs in need through Gidry's Guardian. Come see a game at historic Dodger Stadium. Benefit the pups. It's 2 tickets to May 17th. Thank you to Adrian, a great Gidry's Guardian supporter, for donating the tickets. We always appreciate that very much. Appreciate you. But yeah, you have one more week to bid. You go to create a free account. It's on that graphic, and it's all over my social too. 32auctions.com. Yep. Thank you. 32auctions.com/LAALAD to bid. Thank you so much for that.
I know it because I had to talk about it a few times with the app.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
I wanted to make sure we did that.
You.
Well, guys, I mean, I don't think we have much of a thought for the road outside of, hey, Dodgers good when they score more runs than the other team. That's fun. And we got 4 coming up with the Arizona Diamondbacks. We will not be live tomorrow. This is our Thursday show because your boy is heading out on a mini vacation. I wanted to treat myself for Mother's Day, so we're going to Kern River and we're going to hang out and get real drunk. So if I live, we should be back here Monday. But quickly, what do you need to see in this first series with the Diamondbacks? Before
I need them to assert their dominance early. I mean, like I said, don't sleep on the Athletics, who we play after the Diamondbacks, right? Yeah. I mean, I don't want that to be a trap series, but the Diamondbacks, here's an opportunity to already start creating some room in the NL West. The Diamondbacks are fourth in the division. We're not worried about the freaking Rockies, obviously, but this is an opportunity to say, hey, you know what? We are owning this division, and it's starting right now. It's starting on May 8th. We're going to take care of business. I want 3 out of 4 at least against the Arizona Diamondbacks, because they're a good team too, but the Dodgers are the Dodgers for a reason. Let's do it.
Snake Tamers, that's what the Dodgers are this weekend, guys. Dodgers, go take 3 of 4 against those Snakes. That's what we're looking for. We'll be back Monday with a regular, normal show. That should be a good time. Guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If you listen on the podcast side of things, bring a friend, share it with your friends, like, subscribe. We're close to 10,000 subscribers. You are the only people who can help us get there. Rate and review our podcast. That's also a great way to support the show. That is Alanna Rizzo. I am Clint Pasillas, and we'll see you on Monday. Bye.
Go Dodgers.